We are on the show floor at RSAC 2026. It is opening night and it is packed. You can see all sorts of awesome booths that we're going to explore and show off to everybody who can't attend RSAC yourself. You'll notice there's a lot of blue in this section. I'm in Moscone South. ManageEngine is back with their campaign with the superhero woman that they did at Black Hat. Here you can see the compliance booth by Vanta. We talked about it in our podcast with Scott, the CMO of Vanta, and it's cool to see it come to life. This is a really cool booth by Sandbox AQ. Very Western themed. Everybody's in a cowboy hat. GitHub has a very cool booth, very sparkly. You'll notice that this pillar wrap has a zipper. Don't unzip it. So here you can see we have the Wiz No AI zone where they're creating confections, treats, it's ice cream, it's snacks for folks to enjoy. It's day 2 and there's a crazy line to get in on Tuesday. We are in the South Expo Hall. It's super loud. I don't know if any of you are going to be able to hear it, but I'm really excited by some of the booths here that are really cool looking and kind of funny. The first one is Stellar Cyber. They have a hilarious campaign about baby AI. And if you go to the front here, tired of all the noisy, fussy baby AI. Hilarious and quite a different message so far. It's kind of de-hyping AI, or at least de-hyping competitors' AI. And on the flip side to that, we're gonna have literally right next to the baby carriages, we have this video game themed scary booth by Kiteworks. Not allowed to do goats this year. There was a big announcement to all the booths that live animals are no longer permitted at RSA, but video games and video game culture is always high in cybersecurity. There was a much hyped booth that seems to be living up to its hype. We have the Dropzone AI Diner, and Gote and team, Tyson, Chantel, the rest of the Dropzone team have done a fabulous job of making a really real looking diner with a robot that stands out in the front and talks to people. Very cool. Absolutely a contender for the Beautiful Booth Award this year. Here's another cool booth. It is the Vega booth. Has a cool video game, but like also growth, farming. And of course we have members here, and Vega is hiring and growing. So the sheep, oh, very cute. It's now Wednesday, entering Moscone North. In Moscone North lobby, they have signage for the sponsors. They've got a lounge, the bookstores in the back, and then podcast studio over here, as well as a research poster board display. And then we also have Optro. They have some cool light up experiential Barracuda sponsored ice cream cart at the entrance to North Hall. Very smart of Barracuda. Thank you, Barracuda, for the Haagen-Dazs. A large group of people eating ice cream is great marketing too, because then folks that come up to you and ask, where do you get the ice cream? Link ups, nice and big and white as always. This is the Akaido second booth. And look at this, very retro. It is Thursday, now I'm on the south side of the building. And yeah, it is absolutely lower energy than the previous days. It's the last day, a lot of people have already left. We're in the hallway heading towards the North Expo. So basically, South Expo is back there, and then it's separated by this cool hallway with a lot of rows of booths. I don't know if it is like still the hot location. Before 2020, it was like you want to get in the hallway because people are walking back and forth in between North and South. Plus, these are lengthy booths. So these are the ones where you could get a 10 by 30 and have a lot of people do walking, have a nice walk past your face and get drawn in. Broadcom is back with their music venue themed booth, Legends. This is always doing something big. Now they have Google money, so it looks just slightly less handmade as last year. I know the Wiz team puts a lot of work into stuff. They have live characters. CyberArk has a cool booth because it's playing like metal-ish music. They got acquired by Palo Alto at the end of last year. I love the colors of the Ilaria booth. Very happy and friendly and eye-catching. And if you don't have, I'm not assuming this company has not too much budget, but what's great? A light-up backdrop. A light-up backdrop is simple and it's eye-catching. And it just stands out a wee bit more than a non-light-up backdrop. ManageEngine Mesh has a really cool booth. I love how creative it is. This is cool. Island's doing a workspace of art. Just like the logo. Illumio. Orange. I always can recognize Illumio out there. Also very orange. And then there's Fortinet. Also kind of orange, kind of red. You'll notice some folks also have done a floor plot so that you could see their brands on signage either on the floor or in the air. And I don't want to say there's any sort of color conspiracy, but look, SentinelOne, purples and blues. Next shop, purples and blues. Sony is also doing a music themed booth with a big record on top, lots of open space, a theater, and I think that's double-decker booths. Ricoh also doing a very creative booth, movie theater themed. Usually, however, they'll do the same theme across the big shows. So for example, if it's movie theaters at RSA, it's probably going to be movie theaters at Black Hat. Air MDR has a cool booth, as well as Doppel, which is growing like crazy. Sumo Logic leaning into the Sumo theme. GitLab's second booth. CrowdStrike striking red boots from the distance, visible through the Cisco booth. Still doing the anthropomorphizing of threats. That's what they did last year. They're doing it again. Very cool with the lights on the ground. Google Security has done this little sticky things to lead to their booth. Legion, holy shit, Liam. That is awesome. Definitely a contender for the Beautiful Booth Award. Jazz booth, which they went big. Well, not big in terms of size, but obviously designed really well. That brand is doing their retro booth again this year. Last year it was Yearbook. This year it looks like Records and MTV. So here's BrandShield's super big, super tall, super visible logo right next to their booth. So we are wrapping up the RSAC booth tour, our few fabulous, fantastic days at RSAC 2026 conference. Thanks for everyone for watching. And of course, to all of the vendors, practitioners, sales folks, marketers, CEOs, founders, venture capitalists, investors. We'll see you next year at RSAC 2027. And of course, at Cyber Marketing Con 2026 is November 15th through 18th in Austin, Texas.